Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to this Personal Power Life Coaching Wellness segment. And I'm Jen from Personal Power Life Wellness. And tonight I am sharing a moment of well-being and appreciation or gratitude with you and with everyone around the world to finish the work week and to close this week as I'm now in my weekend with appreciation and awareness and presence and connection, because I realize that sometimes when the end of the week comes along, it may generate some mixed feelings, and maybe you don't even take time to reflect because of the busy pace of life, going out, making plans, having things to do. And I just want to share moments of gratitude and appreciation for the wins in life. And the key purpose of this focus is in order to overcome any moments of sadness or confusion or perhaps indecision or even depression, because a lot of people, they deal with depression, or even if it's not depression in a very serious or severe case, it can be manifesting as sadness or sometimes having emotions or feelings that you just don't understand. So while focusing on gratitude can be a tremendous support, and it can be a huge antidote to going into a downward spiral of sadness and sort of being in a blue mood or not being at your best. This is a great way to break that cycle of basically negative thinking or just habitual thinking, or even if it feels like a surprise. The key is to focus on gratitude, and that's also known as appreciation. So looking back at your week, take a moment to appreciate every day and look back and see what were the highlights and what were the events. Who were the key players? Who were the main people that were present, that were sharing in your daily life? And reflect on how even the people that don't seem to be as important, however, they seem to pop up on a daily basis, even if they don't play a prominent role by virtue of title. And what I mean by that is, for instance, in my case, I every day liaise with or exchange with the security guards in my building, the folks at the entrance for the driveway, for the parking, and they're not necessarily people that have a particular title in my life. Like, they're not my boss or they're not my colleagues. They're not my friends per se, as in that they're in my immediate circle of close contacts. They would otherwise, they could be known as strangers to many others. But for me, they have a special place, and they're very present. So I appreciate them, and I appreciate those relationships. And similarly, there were other moments that I felt really astonished by. And one key learning that continues to emerge for me is the concept of being surprised when things work out even better than I could have imagined, and even better than I could have planned or controlled for or orchestrated. And the key insight from those moments is that I remained flexible and I gave up control. I surrendered controlling the conditions, and I focused more on shifting my energy inwards and softening my approach in terms of slowing down, in terms of hoping and expecting the best, in being more optimistically, positively minded and positively oriented, in terms of what could be possible, what could be the outcome in situations where otherwise I could have assumed the worst. So it's a lot of learning, and it's a lot about you becoming more aware and more in touch with your own truth, with your own nature, with your personality, and the fact that you're changing still, or at least I feel like I'm constantly evolving, my energy's flowing, my emotions are sort of like on a piano, and they're playing back and forth depending on the tune of the day. And in as much as it can feel unsettling and ungrounding when I feel that, it also gives me a sense of variety and diversity and different insights. So remember that even in those experiences of discomfort and things that seem to be like they're a problem or that you want to overcome or make disappear, they also have a positive role in your life. They exist for a reason. They are filling a space, or they're serving a function. And the key is to ask those behaviors or emotions or actions, what is their positive intent? What are they trying to do for you? What is their purpose for you in protecting you or keeping you safe, keeping you from feeling pain perhaps? And this is what a lot of addictions do. They actually help to cover up a lot of internal pain by keeping you busy, by taking your mind's thoughts off of one thing and onto another, or onto nothing really, in terms of when you drink too much alcohol, or you have a binge eating situation, or you use other types of comforts to escape. And it's not about it being good or bad or judging a situation, and least of all judging yourself or anyone, but it's just about being aware, open-eyed, open-minded, and awake to these circumstances and scenarios that aren't going to last forever, but they emerge and they are apparent. So the key is to just be awake to your own life, to your own experiences, and reflect on how things actually turned out even better than you imagined, that you share a lot of relationships with a variety of people, and to pay special attention even to those relationships that don't have a technically important place in your life, and yet they are prominent on a daily basis. And so those are significant sources of your well-being too. So we appreciate that. And we appreciate, for instance, your good health, or the family that you have, or having a home to live in, and being in the right place at the right time. Or perhaps you made a green juice for yourself this week, or you made one every day, or perhaps even a smoothie. I did that for myself. I had a smoothie every day this week, so I felt good about that. I had good digestion. I also had one day where I did something very unusual in that I ate a lot earlier in my day, and I ate something I don't usually eat, which is granola from a granola cup. And I had to work through, or just be aware and awake to my own conflicted feelings towards eating foods that are not raw, because now I'm focusing on being a raw vegan, and also not eating within my intermittent fasting window, which also I tend to have this control issue with the hour period in which I eat. And I realize that it's just my own striving to kind of find something more to give me that satisfaction. But what I've also realized this week is that less and less do I obtain this kind of deep satisfaction. And that's something that I'm coming to terms with, and that I'm learning more about the fact that I don't feel satisfied by things and that I constantly need more, and whether that's or just feeling like, like I have to push myself to do something because I need to make sure that I accomplish and then keep going like a hamster on a wheel, or Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the mountain, and it's never done, it's never completed, and it's almost like this is life, right? It's always one more thing, or it's always something that's incomplete or undone, and it just feels like a race sometimes in an endless loop. And it makes me remember the myths or the stories about reincarnation and Buddhism and the cycle of life and karma, and just being reborn and just keeping going. But see, I don't know if that's a part of my ego that is the limited part, which is wanting to control and to kind of identify and label everything, or if that's just me being tired and I'm just being kind of ornery or grumpy, or if there's a deeper philosophical, spiritual I within that just acknowledges that ultimately there's something eternal and we never get it done. It's never completed, it's never finished, and there's always something different. Once you get to the top of one mountain, there's another peak just now within eye's sight that you will go for. So a lot of things can emerge for us, and we can learn a lot and glean a lot of things, but the key is to start with being awake to those things and to learning who you are and what you're about, because as you learn about you being your greatest manifestation and truest self and connecting with your core, you reflect all of humanity and you reflect aspects of all human beings. We all share those qualities. Some people express them more vividly than others. Like everyone has a degree or a quality of wanting good health, but some people seem to go above and beyond and focus their whole life and career on health, whereas others really love to go out and party and drink and smoke and just, have a free, open, wild, carefree life. And that can be tremendously freeing and satisfying, but at the loss of other aspects. And that also is reflecting a quality that we all have, but just maybe other folks have it to a lesser degree overtly expressed. So just remember that you're reflecting a quality of all humanity, and the way that you express it and embody it and exemplify it is unique to you. So those are the things that make you special, and at the same time they are reflecting qualities of all human beings. So it makes you both individual and separate, but also one with everything and everyone, and thus not really individual and not specifically unique, but one and the other, this and that. And when it gets like that, it can seem confusing and kind of ambiguous, and it may feel uncomfortable because a part of our brain wants to categorize, define, label, pigeonhole. And when it can't do that, when we can't narrow life down and control it, it can feel unsettling and it can create fear. But again, the opposite of fear is love or joy, and there's always a place to look in your life. You can always choose a focus, a target that will give you a sense of joy. And the more you do that, the more you will have that experience. So finally, to wrap up this video, as we complete this week and you go forward into a weekend and you regenerate, recharge your energies, and enjoying every moment of this life and this particular summer season, know that everything that you're living through and all the things that go through your mind and your body and your feelings, they are not insignificant. They don't have to be, and they don't have to be special. You can choose which parts you'll focus on. However, if there is a thought or situation or emotion or series of patterns that keep emerging and repeating, then you do want to pay attention to that, because it's trying to get your attention as something significant that if you can break through, or if you can surpass it, transcend it, kind of accept it or embrace it, for good or for bad, whatever that means in your case, then you go beyond it and something new will come up, and there will be something new in its place, and a new level of your life begins to unfold, a new stage, a new chapter, a new day opens for you. So stay awake, stay aware, stay present, and stay calm and breathing through your nose. Exhaling also through your nose. And trust your instincts, trust your heart, and know that your truth is unique to you, and only you can know what that is. So find your own answers, live your own life, do what makes you happy, and if you don't know what that is, then figure it out, discover that, open yourself to that, and it will come. Ask and you will receive. We just have to stay optimistic. So focus on optimism, focus on the positivity that's possible, the best possible outcomes, and remember that things can work out even better than you can imagine, even if you don't know exactly how. And so it is. So thanks for joining, friends. This is Jennifer from Personal Power Life Coaching. Thank you for sharing your time with me in this moment, and I'll see you very soon. Enjoy your beautiful life, and namaste. See you soon.